Okay, welcome to a new episode, and we are once again down at the Hakone Turnpike. This is a very special shoot that I've been planning for a few weeks now, and I have to thank the owner of the NSX-R, Ben, for lending me the car, and again Spoon for bringing out their FL5 Civic Type-R. So basically the whole idea of me wanting to do this was basically because the NSX-R was the very first R or Type-R model that Honda came up with. And with the FL5 being the very last, there's definitely, the synergies there. So I wanted to kind of feel what the Type-R used to be like 30 years ago and what the Type-R means today in today's kind of model range. Even though they're completely different cars, I think you're gonna have a fun day driving some amazing Hondas today. We won't be spending much time on the turnpike. It's a bit too fast. I don't want to risk, doing anything silly with other people's cars. So we're going to take it down towards Yugawara Onsen. There's a much tighter Touge pass there, so I think we'll have a bit more fun through the twisties. I guess we'll just jump in the cars and get going. Okay, so we've just had the chance to do a first preliminary drive on some nice Touge roads. It's my very first time to drive an NA1 NSX-R on such tight mountain passes, and I'm literally blown away at how the car feels. I can probably compare it to what maybe a grown-up go-kart would feel like. The steering is so direct and so hard. Of course, there's no power steering. And absolutely no sign of understeer. The only problem we had was with the braking giving up for a moment there. We were coming down, that's the main reason why. But Jomoto-san was chasing me in the FL5 Spoon Type-R, and this is his first time driving the car, so yeah. Can I have some impression of what you thought? I mean, you guys developed it, now you get the chance to try it the first time.
So we already test so many types of the road. Of course, racetrack and highway and Touge road. Yeah. But my first time driving in aggressive Touge road today. Yeah. But driving is so easy into chasing the NSX Type-R. Because this car has our down spring, progressive spring. Yeah. Stock one is too much hard.
Yeah, I think I have the same issue in the NSX. Yeah, the suspension, the damping is so hard, too hard.
Yeah. So, but we don't want to make more hard feeling. Mm-hmm. So we developed our springs. More feeling is more soft, but this spring rate is higher than stock one. Yeah. But very smooth suspension stroke, so Touge road is best for that.
And also you have the ability to adjust the damping now that you've gone back. Course. So from the first time that we did the video on this car, when they first did the Tsukuba attack, that time was running on KW suspension. They removed that so they can fine tune and get the development done on the spring lowering kit. So I think for most customers, this would be the more viable option, where you have the best of both worlds, and the car looks good because it sits so low. Does it have any issues with rubbing the front end, maybe on slopes, or not so much?
It's a little bit lower, but this spring is almost Shaken spec.
Almost Shaken spec. Okay, that's good in Japan because you can drive it legally. And also, since we last saw this car, you guys did the ECU mapping. Yeah. So you got a little bit more boost that, of course, gave you a little bit more power. So do you know how much power was measured?
Currently, we use a stock map for the base map. So power is 20 horsepower increase. Okay. So 300 330.
330.
Yeah. So yeah, dyno it has a dyno check is decrease the catalog spec.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's currently scaling power is 330.
330. And that's the hub power
Yeah, hub
or
power.
hub power?
Yes.
So to the wheels a little bit higher.
I think so.
Yeah.
And torque is more.
Yeah, I noticed how quickly you
Yeah.
came up to me instantly.
Yeah. So
responsive.
stock one is like a NA engine.
Yeah.
Power and torque is linearity for the throttle pedal.
It's very
Yeah,
nice
but
slope,
we already tuned the high boost, so torque is more increase about 3,000 RPM, near the 3,000 RPM, increase the torque. So
it must feel amazing.
yes,
after
and
that.
it's easy to drive. So no need to the downshift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just floor it and it goes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we're here for me to try this too. So I'll be jumping in. We can exchange cars.
Of course.
And I can let you know what I thought about this. But for the time being, we're going to take a quick look at the engine and just another once over of the car because you guys need to see how it sits now with the lowering springs. And the mirrors are back.
Yeah.
And it looks on point. So let's take a closer look. Okay, so a quick glance at the engine. So we've already seen this before, but just to remind people, it's completely stock.
Yes.
Nothing has been changed yet. You just have a spoon filter.
Spoon filter and the throttle body.
And the throttle body.
Yeah.
And the
yellow cover, some caps.
Yeah. And then you've done this heat shielding.
Yes. Yeah. This car still have a heating issue.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we put on so many
right,
heat shield material.
Yeah. And I've noticed you've also refined the way the air.
Small modify.
So from here, where is Spoon gonna go with this engine? Are you gonna do aftermarket turbos or?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We already start fitting and checking the upgrade tab. Yeah, so maybe we will sell soon.
Right.
Yeah.
Very quick.
Yes.
Efficient. And clutch, flywheel, have you done anything with that?
Maybe soon.
Soon.
Yeah.
Because if you go up on power, obviously, you need to look at that as well. Great. And differential?
It's already have a.
That's good enough, you think, for even more power?
Yes, and we need more testing in the racetrack. So right now we use a 1.5 way.
Okay.
But some racetrack better. Which one better? So 1 way or 1.5 way? What
you
is,
need to figure out which suits better.
So we need more testing.
Great. Okay, just to compare, obviously, the cars and the engines, this is a completely stock engine, again, much like the Civic. We've just done a radiator fluid change and kind of had a check and alignment done at Spoon yesterday, just to make sure the car was on top condition for today's drive. It feels amazing. I can't fault it in any way for a stock engine. It really actually sounds good once you get on some decent revs. 4,000 RPM and up, it sounds really nice. And I think I'm going to enjoy driving it through the Touge today. You know, speaking of the engine, I think we definitely have to talk to Jomoto-san because he was the chief mechanic of the Spoon NSX Macau race car, right?
Yes.
So you're the guy that helped build it, coordinate the build, handle all the testing, and then of course you're the guy that had to fix after the crash in Macau. So could you tell us something about?
Good memory for me.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, that race is my first chief mechanic project.
Yeah.
And it's a very impressive for me.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, and the Macau race is a very difficult setup. So Macau Grand Prix has a long straight and a mountain section. Is so different type of the setting. And the NSX is a very good car for the Macau Grand Prix.
Yeah.
So that car's engine is a 3.5 NA engine and a very wide torque band,
Yeah.
and no need to the shift change.
Shift so much. Yeah.
So this car is a very good racing car in the Macau, and it had a third place.
Yeah.
That race.
So after you guys fixed it.
Yeah, of course.
So you stayed up the whole night basically to
Yes.
make it work. My God, because I actually remember shooting that car in maybe 2008
Yeah.
at Twin Ring Motegi.
Yeah,
with
I
Ichishima-san.
remember that, yeah.
you were there too. So yeah, I mean,
I just young mechanic.
I was a young photographer. Time flies, but
Yeah.
it's crazy that we're over another special NSX
Yes.
today and enjoying it out today. But yeah, let's take a ride in the cars and see what we think. Okay, so for me, the really impressive thing about this car is just the analog nature it has. It feels amazing in your hands. The steering is very hard. There's a lot of kickback through the steering, but it just communicates so much. Every corner you're getting a very accurate sensation of what the Bridgestones are putting up with. And it gives you an insane feedback through the seat of your pants. This bucket seat is awesome for that. And I think the only issue you would probably have in today's world, where tire technology has advanced so much to the point that I'm now running Bridgestone RE71 RSs, which are basically track compound street tires, but the level of grip that they generate is so phenomenal that you end up cornering faster and braking harder, and therefore you put more pressure on the brakes and the suspension. So thinking of upgrades, only that would really be something to think about. Then engine wise, people say, oh, it only has like 280 declared horsepower, but on roads like this, it's just perfect. It doesn't feel like it's lacking power or torque in any way or form. The 5-speed has got really perfectly spaced ratios, and I really never find myself out of a little squirt of power like this. And I may have complained that the exhaust was a bit quiet, but that's around town. On roads like this, once you get over 4,000 RPM, it just starts singing. That CE30A is an amazing engine, and once it gets on cam, it sounds sublime. So I really have no complaints. Chassis wise, the car is just so light. It really dances through the corners. You can really focus on nailing the apexes and just making full use of that road when you come out. I mean, really, Honda did create an amazing car for the generation, and I'm pretty sure they scared the hell out of Ferrari and Porsche back in those days with a car like this. So if you get wondering why I'm bouncing like this is how hard the suspension are. So on Japanese roads, they put high grip tarmac in little strips to help people not lose control in slippery conditions, and yeah, they make you bounce, but they're really grippy. And if you don't mind, I have to open the window now because I'm dying. One thing that's broken on this car is the air conditioner, so I'm really suffering right now. But while we're here, kind of driving it a little slower, I can't emphasize enough how beautifully simple the cabin is. Like, I honestly don't think it's aged that much. I mean, the layout is spot on. Sure, the equipment is dated. There's a tape deck, analog gauges, but it just proves again that once you really don't overcomplicate things, you end up with cars that just last so much more through time. And this NSX is the perfect example. I mean, obviously it doesn't even need to be an NSX-R, it can be any type of NSX. You know, one thing I really enjoy about this car is the Momo steering wheel. It's just as you would want it. It's perfectly like shaped around your, you know, perfect hand position. It is one of the best driver's cars that, you know, Honda and Japan in general has ever created. I mean, without a doubt, this is the real deal. And, you know, a lot of people will say, well, you know, the NA2 was a step above, but I still feel this original generation with the pop-up headlights, it just has so much more of the 90s, so much more of that old flavor of the cars that, you know, we all love. And, you know, while the fixed headlights was a nice kind of upgrade to be doing, it doesn't change the fact that underneath it remains the same car. It's the same chassis, the same body. It's just being, you know, nipped and tucked here and there. Okay, so I'm in the FL5 Spoon Type-R, and I've just spent about 10 minutes getting comfortable with the car because, you know, to jump from a 30-year-old NSX mid-engine car without any sort of control into something brand new, 2022 model, it's a big difference. And, you know, starting from the handling, they're back on the stock damper, so you have the selection on the drive mode that really changes the character. I think on these roads, probably comfort is the best setting, but I'm actually driving it in Plus R, just so I can get the sharpest feel from the chassis. And my lord, is it sharp. It's like pin sharps turning anytime you know, go through a corner or just tap the steering. It's completely different from the NSX, which is far more progressive. They're actually running the same tires, the Bridgestone's RE71 RSs. But the Type-R, you know, it's a modern car. You really feel that evolution that has happened through, you know, three 3 decades basically, and they have created a car that is exceptionally easy to drive fast. I have to say, it really makes you look like a bit of a driving god. There's so much torque on demand, even though the power delivery is quite linear. I mean, I think they definitely tried to tune it in a way that it feels NA, trying to kind of align with the character that Hondas have always been known for. There's an amazing amount of braking power. Of course, Spoon have changed the front calipers. They've gone for a bigger Brembo setup with their special discs and pads and fluids and brake hoses. So it's track ready. Like, you know, if you need to brake, you brake. You just shave speed off in a split second. So on corners like this, where you don't want to kind of trail brake into, you know, the middle of the corner, you get 90% of your braking done before the corner like this, and then you throw the car in. Obviously a bit smoother than that. But just to emphasize, you know, what a pin sharp chassis this FL5 really is. Oh god. And you know, the engine, of course, I don't have the opportunity to stretch its legs rather, on, you know, these very tight corners, but I've floored second and third a couple of times, and there's so much torque. It just packs on the speed so fast. You get to illegal speeds very quickly, and again, it makes it a more relaxed driving experience, because literally you just need to keep it in third gear, and it just it responds with wallops of torque every time. And torque is indeed where they found most of the benefits of, you know, using the flash ROM from Honda. The mid-range has really become explosive, not that the stock car wasn't, but it just helps, you know, spice up the whole package a little bit more, especially when you have handling and braking on this sort of level. You know, having the extra power is definitely something that you really need. Now, chassis, I've talked about it already. It's a very brand new car. It's a 2023 model, so as you can imagine, production abilities of being quite evolved since when the Type-R NSX was originally made. So structural rigidity is phenomenal. It's like basically running a roll cage on like an older chassis. That's what comes through the steering and the seat. With that, you feel more comfortable because the car just corners and gets into a nice radius pretty easily, and it even heels and toes for you. I mean, it's like the Fair Lady Z that we just drove. It's automatic rev match, so it's there to facilitate the drive. Some people may like that. I prefer to do that stuff myself. I found it very satisfying in the NSX to kind of rev out second, shift up to third, and then back to second with a nice heel and toe and rev match it. You don't nail it every time, but when you do, it's extra special, right? I have to say, I really love these mirrors that Spoon have developed. They don't only look good from the outside, kind of give a sharper feel to the whole exterior, but they're actually phenomenal when you're using them, looking through them. They have a nice kind of wide angle to them. I think they've been concaved out, and they have this coating on them to kind of reduce reflections. So that's a nice little detail I noticed so far. But yeah, the steering in this car is so sharp. It's beautifully weighted for an electrically assisted rack, and it just builds your confidence so much. Actually, I have to say that torque really comes in strong, sort of like an old school turbo engine. There it is. So they're both Type-R models, but I mean, they couldn't be more different cars. Not only is the age gap separating them, but the whole the whole ethos of each car is completely different. One is a mid-engine, lightweight, rear-wheel drive sports car from the 90s. One is a tuned sedan from, you know, the early 2020s. It's a whole different ballgame, but they really get that performance out there in very unique forms, and in the process are very special cars that you can enjoy individually for their own you know, positive character. All right, what a day it's been. This is what dreams are made of. Having the opportunity to drive, you know, the very first Type-R and the very last, and one that's been modified and perfected by Spoon. You know, it's really made evident how the evolution of a car, or, you know, the Type-R badge in particular, has kind of come a long way. And I have to say, this is the perfect analog representation of what Type-R means. This is the digital representation, the new world representation of what the Type-R stands for. And, you know, most people will probably ask, which one would you take? You can't make a decision like that. You need them both. And I think it's a perfect way to end this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more of these kind of videos, let me know below in the comments, and thank you for checking in.